All right, guys. So somebody's been asking about my testimony. So I'm gonna give you guys my testimony. So when I was 16, I got into a bad car accident. I hit a tree. Rode my car 9 times. Hit a tree. I just remember my mom told me. I don't remember. I was in the passenger, or my mom was in the passenger seat. My sister was in the back seat, and I was driving. Just got my permit for 2 weeks. I guess my mom said you were driving on the freeway. I was driving on the freeway, and there was a truck stalled out in my lane. And she said, "Watch out!" And then there's a bee on the dashboard. I was looking at the bee and not the lane I was switching into. She said, "Sean, watch out!" She swatted at the bee, and then I spun the wheel, trying to switch lanes because there's a truck stalled over in my lane. And I spun the wheel all the way around 70 miles an hour, and we rolled 9 times and landed and hit a tree. And then they had to use the jaws of life to get me out of the car. My mom was in the ambulance, and my sister and I got to be airlifted to the hospital, U of M hospital in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I was in a coma for a week. And they said on the seventh day or sixth day, my mom said that they were gonna take me out my tubes off the next day, which would be the seventh day. And she knelt down my bed and prayed like crazy. And she came out of the ER that day, and so did my sister, but they still stayed in the hospital when I was there just to support me, and make sure I was okay. Um, and I told my mom, or I saw it, I saw a light, and like God was telling me it wasn't my time. There's a man at the end of the tunnel, a man at the end of the light. And then I woke up. Like I always went to church, with my family. I just didn't really know exactly to believe in God. You know what I mean? Who was this person? I just was always forced to go to church. And so I woke up, and they were taking staples out of my arms, and my brain was bleeding. They said, but I woke up out of my coma, and they said I would never walk again. Well, it took me about 2 months to learn how to walk again in the hospital. Like I would try to get out of my bed all the time when I was in a wheelchair. Try to get out of my bed all the time and wheel myself down and get some Wendy's. They had like Wendy's there and stuff like that at the hospital, and they had an ice cream freezer across the hall from me, so I tried to get ice cream. Well, after a while, they had to lock me in my bed, put Velcro around it because I couldn't get up. I'd fall so much trying to get them out of my wheelchair, get into my wheelchair when they're supposed to be helping me, but I didn't press the button for the help because I was too stubborn. And then I'd fall so many times, I finally locked me in my bed, and this whatever. Then I learned how to walk again. It took me about 2 months, and I went to therapy after that. I've been going to therapy basically since I was 18, for like 21 years. I did have a 24-hour aid after that too, and because I had a neck brace because I had torn ligaments in my neck, right, from the accident. And then and they said I have to have a halo, like where you got the needles in your head and the bar thing above your head. And it's called a halo. And I said, no way am I getting that thing, couldn't barely move your neck, whatever, if they did it. So I went to church, and then they laid hands on me and prayed for me and said I was healed. And then I went to get my appointment to get my neck brace off, or to get my neck brace to get the appointment to get the halo. And they said, well, you're okay now, you're healing, so we won't schedule the halo appointment. I was like, wow, God is good. And from then on, I really started believing in God really strongly, going to church. And you know um so then I got into had my own apartment for a while. After my sophomore year in high school is when I got my accident. So my junior year, I homeschooled my junior year. And my mom said, "You want to walk with your class? You want to go back? You want to go back to school your senior year, or do you want to stay homeschooled?" And I said, "Dude, homeschooling is awesome, man. One packet and you're done, and a little bit of testing, and that's it. You know what I mean?" But like, I was like, "No, I want to walk with my class." So my senior year, I went back. Had to ride the little bus. They called it the short bus every day to school. So my mom didn't think I would get beat up. Had to have somebody walk me to every single class. It was pretty crazy because I was fragile. You know what I mean? If I got hit in the head, something bad could happen. So I went and graduated my class in my senior year. One of the best things I ever done. Graduated in 2001. And after that, I had my own apartment. You know, my mom thought it was a bunch of seniors there. So it would be quiet, in the apartments. Well, the bottom floor in the apartments was party central. So we started partying a lot, being dumb, and then taken advantage of by others, basically. So I moved into my program that I'm in now when I was 18, had and lived in a group home, not and then a couple months later, I lived in an apartment. So I have an apartment now, in my own apartment. Um, Single man, which is whatever. It's all right. God will bring the right one to me eventually. Um, I have a 13-year-old daughter now too. Doesn't live with me, but she's still, yeah, she'll keep track of her. Um, but I would say God is awesome, guys. And if that's the best thing you can take out of this, just understand. You can ask God into your heart. You know what I mean? Just tell him that you're a sinner and that you love God, and you ask him to your heart right now. That's all you got to do. Become a Christian. And try to live from every day. I try to go to church every a week or every other week. I do YouTube. I do TikToks. I'm always a positive person. I don't have a lot of friends in life because where I live, it's really go bowling or nothing, because there's not really much as bars and stuff. But I'm not a drinker. I don't do that bar thing. I'm 39 years old. I'm be 40 next month, so it's like I'm out of that stage. So like, but yeah, like I'm just saying, like God is good, man. And if you ever hear me say I forget or I don't remember if I say stuff that does not make sense, I do have a closed head injury from my car accident. So basically, that means I have a bad memory, short-term memory loss. So like, oh, Sean, I told you that 2 minutes ago and you forgot. Hey, man, it's gonna happen, unfortunately. Um, and I just say so sometimes, and my decision making is really hard. So if I ask somebody a question, like if Cassie, if I ask you or Rob or Savage, like, hey, what do I do? Or my people, my PlayStation parties too, I sometimes ask, what I do, guys, in this situation. They'll like give me advice. Because I make bad decisions. Sometimes I make decisions right on the spot, and it's really not a good thing to do. You know what I mean? So I need people to help me do that sometimes. Um, I I got scars on my arms, from my car accident. I had staples taken out of me as I was getting up out of my coma. I have staples, so I'm scarred for life. I get it, but you know what? I live for God every day. God is awesome. God is great. You know what I mean? So if you don't watch a lot of this video, I understand. But if you do, I'd appreciate it. If you liked the video, and you shared it, you commented on it. I'll be live probably about 30 minutes or something to ride my bike, exercise for a little bit, and I'll probably do a cooking stream tonight. So on TikTok here. Subscribe to Chef Sean on YouTube. I greatly appreciate it. I've been streaming 1,128 days in a row now, over 3 years. I don't have a lot of friends. Those guys are really my friends on YouTube and TikTok. Shout out to LMR, Loyal Misfit Royalty. Shout out to Savage Beauty, Sweet Cassie, and Rob. Man, give me the opportunity to be in LMR. It's awesome. I got a chef apron. Shout out to Savage for making the apparel, the merch, and I got a shirt too, T-shirt. I'm gonna have to wash that, but yeah. So I'm gonna be live on TikTok a little bit here. Yeah, just remember, guys, God is good all the time. All right. Hopefully, this will reach you guys in some way. And if you feel like messaging me or following me, that's cool. I love y'all. God bless.